Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 6th of July. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to pursue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.subset.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. So let's have a look at ES. Now, ES still looks like a bull flag to me. Still looks like we're probably going to be retesting the highs next. In terms of the in terms of the stats this week, hang on, bear with me a moment. We're looking at bullish Monday, neutral Tuesday and Wednesday, bullish Thursday and Friday, and then bullish on Monday and Tuesday next week. So we've got a 4-day leaning bullish window from Wednesday, and we've got a bullish leaning day today. So I'm thinking we're going to be retesting this high later this week if we can get some cooperation from the Qs, which we're looking particularly weak on Friday and almost failed this double bottom. We shall see how that goes. But I'm still liking the retests of the highs on ES and NQ and bullish window for the next 2 weeks. Hey, Doug. We've got a bullish window for the next 2 weeks in which we could do some damage to the upside if the market was so inclined. So I'm watching out to see whether that happens. In the short term, RTY, we've got a perfect little level top here. But that's mainly because, of course, it's been hanging around near the highs. YM, less nice, but again, very, very close to new all-time high, and we made a new all-time high overnight. DAX and ESTX are flashing a slight warning signal here. We've got sell signals on both, with the STX one fixing overnight. And Nikkei, the original flag has expanded into a larger flag. It's nice, and it looks pretty much ready to go at any time. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Looking at ES, I've drawn this in as what I think it is, which is a bullish triangle that we have been forming here. How close does it look? A, B, C, D, E. It looks like it could break up at any time. So watching that with interest might do a little more damage to the downside, but it's unlikely to be an awful lot because the fifth wave tends to be a partial wave, and of course we've already seen basically a 50% retracement of the previous one. This could go at, if it is a triangle here, and I think it is, then this could really go at any time. In terms of the hourly chart, in terms of the daily chart, we've broken back, we've held more or less the 50-day MA, and we're back over the daily middle band, and we have basically traded above it for 3 days. So that has been converting to support. Hourly chart, nothing really to see. 15-minute chart, nothing really to see. Triangle's not quite as nice here on the SPX chart, but it's still pretty decent, and I think it's a triangle. All right, QQQ. I think this is a bullish triangle too. I don't think it's as clean or as nice as the one on SPX, and of course we did break back below the daily middle band and tested the 50-day MA again on Friday. Now, SPX is going to need a bit of cooperation from QQQ to go up. So I mean, it didn't drag SPX below the daily middle band on Thursday, but nonetheless, we need a bit of cooperation from the Qs to get back up to the highs. So we will see whether we get it. In terms of the hourly chart, nothing to see really. I've drawn in the triangles, pretty decent, although. Really, I'd be happier if this was testing the higher side on it. Really. In terms of Dia, Dia never got back to the daily middle band, is at new all-time highs at the moment. I've got trendline resistance just above, which I'll be watching. Not sure how seriously to take it, but I'm certainly going to be watching it. Hourly chart, nothing to see really. 15-minute chart, nothing to see. Nice looking rising wedge from the low at the end of March. All right, let's have a look at the IWM chart. And looking at the IWM chart, again, we never got back to the daily middle band. Again, we are hanging around near the highs. No current divergence here on the RSI 5. We've got RSI 14 sell signals on the daily charts fixed across the board, and I think those are going to play out after we make some more highs. But I'm thinking, I'm thinking we've got quite a lot of resistance overhead, but obviously the market's got a shot to do some damage to the upside over the next few days, so it's going to be very interesting to see whether it does. In terms of the hourly chart, no current divergence. In terms of the 15-minute chart, we've got a little weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and I'm thinking, well, we should close up considerably. So we should open up considerably today. We will see where it goes after that. In terms of DAX, DAX, I've been talking for ages about a retest of the all-time high. We actually saw that, slightly surprisingly, on Thursday. So we will see how it goes from here. This is obviously overall a very nice looking double top, but obviously it doesn't need to play out. Nikkei, we were testing the daily middle band fairly aggressively, never closed below it. I've got a nice looking flag here on the futures hourly chart, so I'm really expecting to see a retest of the high sooner rather than later. Okay, let's have a look at DX, where we had a buy signal which didn't actually get that far. We had a 60-minute buy signal that's reached the possible near miss target. I'm wondering if this is a flag, and I've got to say it looks like a pretty nice looking bear flag, on obviously inverted on the EURUSD chart. Looks like a pretty nice bear flag there, so we will see whether that delivers. I've got to say oil obviously has been pretty subdued. If oil was having troubles and up in the 80s and 90s, I think the dollar would have been going rather faster to the upside here. GBP USD, we've got a double bottom which is broken up with a target in the 1.3415 area. Nice looking little bull flag forming, I think. So likely to see at least a retest this high, and it might make that target. USD JPY, we had a 60-minute buy signal I was looking at last night and a little level bottom. That's played out. Wondering about a retest of the high. USD CAD kind of looks like a bull flag forming, and really we're testing resistance that, and I'm wondering if that's about to go. Australian dollar could be a bear flag forming. NZUSD could be a bear flag forming. We shall see. In terms of the bonds chart, I am wondering about a bit of a rally here, test the monthly pivot, maybe get up into the 113.14 area, but the double bottom's not breaking up yet, and the 60-minute buy signal hasn't made the possible near miss target yet. It's exactly the same on ZN. We've got a nice looking double bottom. That's actually broken up slightly. 60-minute buy signal has not reached the possible near miss target. I'm leaning towards a bit of upside here. Overall, lean still is short. Oil. Brent, we had a 60-minute buy signal that made the full target, and there's not a lot of reason to think that we're going to see some short-term upside here. Waiting to see what that delivers, if anything, because we do still have an open 60-minute buy signal on CL. So we're testing the weak pivot as resistance. So far that has been holding, and we will see whether that continues to hold or whether we get a bit more upside here. Do we have a decent bottoming pattern here? Not really, no. HO, decent looking inverted head and shoulders, although this isn't really a decent looking inverted head and shoulders on the spot. So I've got doubts about it, but that's got a target up in the 3.47 area. We had a sell signal here, and that reached the possible near miss target. RBOB, I rolled this into September because the volume seemed to have moved there. So potential level bottom here. That was breaking up on the August chart, but it isn't here. And we haven't broken over this declining resistance either. So watching that with interest. NG is holding the monthly pivot as resistance, and on the bigger picture, it's holding the 200 DMA as resistance. If this continues to hold, then the next obvious targets are downward. All right, just a quick look more at oil here. In terms of the straightforward moves, we're now down to a 14% chance. This is just before the MOU was signed at 26%, and this is where 63% it got up to. This is all the way down to 14% now. There's not a lot of optimism that straightforward moves is going to return to normal by July the 31st. In terms of looking at the August 31st number, I'm not sure we got much data on that. No, we haven't. They've only just opened that. Oh, okay, fair enough. So we're in the mid-30s here. That's not an awful lot of optimism, but if we go to December, which obviously is a long way out, here we've got a 68% chance, but that's down from 90% odd when the MOU was signed. In terms of where we are on the daily charts, we've got some nice positive divergence now, but the 60-minute buy signal didn't actually move far enough to actually fix any of those signals. So we've got a nice looking buy signals forming on the daily charts on Brent. We've got nice looking buy signals forming on the daily charts on oil, on WTIC, on light sweet crude, and we are waiting to see whether those will deliver anything. We don't have anything equivalent on heating oil or gas oil, neither of which have dropped anywhere as much as the others. And gas oil is interestingly testing the daily middle band, which is a big resistance level here. Overall on oil, the market has decided to just ignore Iran for the time being, and maybe they'll come back, maybe that won't. But I think in terms of the memorandum of understanding, the negotiations just to implement the terms of the memorandum of understanding are not actually going particularly well, and the US have been making noises like they're just taking a break, and they're going to be back later, so we shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at precious metals, where we've got a double bottom here on gold, which is broken up with the target, the 42.35 to 42.50 range. I am liking the upside here. The initial buy signal on the daily RSI 5 on gold is made target, but we've got an RSI 14 buy signal, which is fixed, and we've got a larger double bottom here, and we are waiting to see whether that will deliver. On SI, it kind of looks still like a bear flag, 60-minute sell signal fixed overnight and isn't really doing anything. Palladium, nice looking double bottom. Platinum, smaller double bottom, nice looking falling wedge. I'm liking the upside potential on these, and I think we've got a setup here where we could be returning to retest the all-time high. I'm quite liking that setup. HG has broken down from a double top here and just maybe forming a bear flag here, but I think it's unlike. I'm slightly skeptical about seeing this fall much while equities are still hanging around by the highs. In terms of the KC chart, looks like we're going to retest this high. I actually called this IHS target yesterday in the bigger picture chart, but I'm still wondering if we might make the full target there, and I'm thinking we may well retest the high here. We are seeing a lot of strength for a lot of these minor commodities. On sugar, we've got a possible IHS forming, although I don't particularly like it. CC has gone back and retested the high. I was talking about this being a bullish triangle yesterday, so that's delivered. Week 6-minute sell signal did not reach the possible near miss target, so that is still open. On lumber, still looks like a bear flag forming. Cotton, IHS has broken up with a target in the 79.72 area and would need to get back below 76.25 to fail. ZW, nice looking double bottom here and some decent progress overnight. Corn, less nice looking bottoming setup here. I'm not sure I'd call this a double bottom, but I'll have a look at this later. But we had a sell signal here and that's failed, and that's gone higher. On soy, this has gone higher, and this is starting to look less like a bear flag. And more like a breakout. So watching that with interest. ZL hasn't really been doing much in recent days. We've got a nice looking double bottom here. A weak 60-minute buy signal fix. Live cattle no longer looks like a bull flag forming, and we're below the monthly pivot. We've still got unfinished business below at a retest of this high in the 25150 area. No current divergence in the sell signal made target. HE, this still looks very much like a bear flag forming, setting up a retest of this low. All right, let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none. In which case, I think that's a wrap, guys. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.